Everyone is talking about Solana, and for a good reason, because in the past week alone, we've seen a run up of about 97%, which even in crypto is pretty wild. So in this video, I'm going to be covering what Solana is, the recent hype around it, the news, as well as the ecosystem. If you've missed this latest run, don't worry, there are other opportunities. Welcome back to all my current subscribers, and if you're new here, I'm DeFi Bay, and this is not financial advice, where I talk about all things DeFi and crypto related. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll jump right into it. What is Solana that everyone's talking about? Well, Solana is a decentralized blockchain built to enable scalable and user-friendly apps for the world. In other words, they are an Ethereum competitor, and people have named it as an Ethereum killer. And of course, they're not the only one. There's a few other Ethereum killers or competitors such as Cardano, Polkadot. One could even argue Binance. Solana was founded by CEO Anatoly Yakovenko, and even though this is omitted from their official documentation, on LinkedIn, the co-founder is listed as Raj Gokal. So in November 2017, the founder Anatoly, he wrote this white paper called Proof of History, a technique that helps keep time between computers that do not trust one another. He was looking at networks like Ethereum and Bitcoin, which were struggling to scale beyond around 30 transactions per second. And meanwhile, you have giants like Visa being able to process around 65,000 transactions per second. So he realized that there needed to be some workarounds to really be able to scale and become more usable for the entire world. So in comparison, Solana right now is able to process many more transactions than, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum networks. Solana is an open source project maintained by the Solana Foundation, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. So one of the pros that I see here is that they do have a relatively higher TPS, or transactions per second. Right now it's sitting at around 2,000. They have a very low gas fee per transaction, which if you've ever used Ethereum, you know is a huge pain point for using their network. Another pro is that Solana is heavily VC backed. You've got huge partners like Andreessen Horowitz and others really leading the funding for Solana. So basically there's a lot of VC money and big names in Solana. They also are associated with SBF. He is the CEO of FTX, and it's also proof of stake, which is more energy efficient than proof of work, and it's also a bit faster than proof of work. So there's that. So some of the cons is that the VC are majority shareholders. According to this Misari chart here, the initial token allocations for public blockchains, you can see that Solana is almost half held by insiders, which would include the team, the company, VCs, and all of their friends. Hardly anything went to a public sale, so there could be easy manipulation by the whales that hold almost half of the tokens in Solana. So Solana has been all over the news, and recently they've revealed Ignition to be a global Solana hackathon. It's a virtual hackathon with up to $5 million in prizes and seed funding, and what they're really trying to do is attract as many developers who build the infrastructure. And so the saying, build it and they will come, and that's exactly what Solana is trying to attract, because the more developers you attract, the more apps you get, the more users you get, the more funding, which leads to more investments, and the more TVL, total value locked. It all becomes this giant positive feedback loop for Solana. And they've teamed up with different names like Serum, Mango, Chainlink, Radium, as well as bringing in really key crypto natives such as SBF, the CEO of FTX, Crypto Cobain, co-founder of Axie. You got a lot of investors here, general partner at Andreessen Horowitz. So really they're bringing together kind of like the who of who's. This was actually just announced 7 hours ago that Audius, which if you don't know what that is, I've covered it in this video up here. They've announced a Solana NFT integration, and here I kind of want to point out that they're not fully integrated on Solana, because any transactions you do with Audius, such as staking and delegating and unstaking, requires you to pay gas fees in Ethereum. And I've asked some of the developers in Discord, they said that they're still working on moving over to Solana, but currently there's no ETA. So this news is just basically saying that now you can feature your NFTs from the Solana ecosystem. It's basically just like a little page that you can show people, hey, these are the NFTs that I have. And now you can do that with the NFTs that you have on Solana. This is solana.com. This is the Solana Beach dashboard where it shows you the slot heights and what is happening in real time. So right now, TPS is transactions per second. It's about 2,000. It fluctuates as you go. The circulating supply of the native token SOL is about 290 million, and about 387 million of them are staked. Current price is $131. It has been an epic run up in the last week. And if you go to their validators, you have almost 1,000 validators. And if you were to stake it on Solana, you have about a 7.71% effective staking APY. All right, so real quick, I wanted to point out that I noticed in their Solana GitHub, in the past 3 years or so, they've had a significant drop-off in contributions, which is interesting because right now they're at one of their lowest points since earlier this year when it was Solana Summer Part 1. So maybe it is Solana Summer Part 2. I guess we'll have to wait and see. All right, so let's go to the price action. So this is kind of where I've drawn the fib retracement. Right now, the RSI is highly overbought, and we're still seeing MACD making higher highs, matching the chart's higher highs. So nothing goes up forever in a straight line, and I'm going to be looking for the pullbacks, and this is where I've gotten the retracements. So personally for me, if I wanted to get some Solana, I would probably wait until it was in the 90s. This would be after it falls below the first level of support. And at an even better steal would probably be in the 70s. This is where I would really look to add to my position more or enter with a significant amount. And if you look back here, there was another crazy parabolic run up here from March 26th all the way till May. And it went sideways for a little bit until it crashed. And this is kind of when the whole crypto market crashed. But I'm going to be looking for another pullback like this because it's not going to be a bull forever. These spots right here, this is not where I want to enter at all. And something else that I want to show you is that if you've missed this last run in Solana, what you can do is go to Solana's ecosystem. We kind of saw that before the Solana run-up, Audius had a similar run-up to almost to its previous all-time highs. Granted, that was based off of the news of the TikTok partnership, but now here's another wave that Audius could ride on. So if you filter by percentage increase in the last 7 days, you can see the protocols or tokens in the Solana ecosystem that have also gone on their own runs. And this is where I would be looking to find the next 5 or 10x. So personally, I'm looking at Solana. It's a launch pad for projects and for investors. I'm also looking at Radium because it is a automated market maker. They have about 1.4 billion in TVL, and they traded over 10 billion. Built on Solana, you can do swaps, liquidity, and you can also farm. So you just launch the app, and you got to connect to Solana wallet. So this is where MetaMask is not going to work for now. You're going to have to download either like a Phantom or a Soleil wallet. I've seen a lot of popularity with Phantom, so that's a good one to start out with. Here you have swapping, which is pretty standard. It's another DEX, decentralized exchange, and you can input the coins that you want to swap on Solana. You can also provide liquidity, and once you provide liquidity, then you are able to earn a percentage of the fees from the swaps. You can also join pools. And there's Radium pools, there's also permissionless pools. You can check this out and choose any of these to join a pool. And if you are a farmer, you can come here and choose some of your LP tokens to stake and earn token rewards from. This is going to show you the TVL and then the total APR from fees overall and then Radium itself. And if you notice, the higher the TVL, generally the lower the APR. Right now, you do have some pretty good rates. You have like 115% over here. Keep in mind that these are not forever and they do fluctuate quite a bit. You can also just stake it on Radium and you get a higher percentage than if you were to stake it on Solana, where it was just a 7.71%. Radium has been a solid name in the space so far, so This is one of the more trusted DeFi platforms on Solana right now. They also have an accelerator that you can check out. This is, basically a launch pad for new projects to raise capital and then to allow the community to participate. Think of it as like an IPO, but it's open to everybody instead of just accredited investors, basically millionaires. They were doing Star Atlas, but it looks like that the Atlas pool has ended, but the upcoming one is great. So if you wanted to learn more about it, you just go click on it and just kind of go through the project. And so these are some really interesting opportunities and projects to be a part of from the ground up. And so here is where you can do some token account migrations, and they give you a few different levels. But yeah, so Radium is a good one that I've been looking at. SolPad Finance is another one. They're very, very small. So this one is like nosebleed risk because the 24-hour trading volume is so small and so easily manipulated. But this is where you have the high risk, high rewards. So it's up to you. And Solonium is a similar launch pad to Accelerator and SolPad. Solonium basically is where you can invest in the hottest Solana projects, stake your tokens, trade on their DEX, and manage your wallet to participate in their future governance. This one has been in the works pretty much all year. I entered their lottery way earlier on this year. They did a few airdrops. So this is something cool to look into. Once again, you do have to download a Solana compatible wallet. And we've dipped our toes into Solana Summer Part 2, so if you made it this far, leave me a comment and let me know what some of your favorite Solana projects or NFTs are, and I will see you in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe so I can keep making more videos like this.